All of us want to save a bit of money, right? To keep that dream of new high-end pedals alive. That is why we want to bring you a price check today. But which sim racing game offers you the best bang for your buck if you only rock $100? You won't believe what we found out in the end.
Is it this one? Or that one? Or something completely different? Let's find out. Let's start with a standout, iRacing. A game with such a large following for sure has an accessible system and is largely affordable, right? Well, let's take a look. iRacing sports a subscription model, which means you have to pay annually or monthly to get access and play the content. By acquiring an iRacing subscription, you gain the possibility to drive 16 laser-scanned cars and 22 trucks, which include classics like Silverstone.
While 16 cars and 22 tracks doesn't sound too bad, we want to know what's really poppin'. Let's say I'm a big fan of the new Porsche GT3 Cup car, and I really want to drive that. How do I proceed from here?
First of all, you have to take a look at which tracks are part of the season schedule. Each track costs $14.95, but if you take 6 of them, you get a 15% discount. With this, we can afford 6 tracks at a total price of $77.45. Now we have to buy the star of the show, which is the new Porsche 911 GT3 Cup. For $11.95, you can claim this beauty, which brings the total price to $86.40. In the end, we have to add $7.80 for a month worth of iRacing. In total, we have spent $94.20 for 17 cars and 28 tracks of content, which we can play a total of 1 month if we keep this plan.
A more sustainable solution would be to buy a year-long subscription and just slowly build yourself up with cars and tracks from there. Nonetheless, 17 cars and 28 circuits seem harsh for $100. Let's see what the competition has to offer.
As we are aware, Kuno Simulazioni is a tough competitor to the service of iRacing. So we will inspect Assetto Corsa and Assetto Corsa Competizione and see if they can offer more content for $100. If you want to know just how close the rivalry is, you can watch our big ACC versus iRacing video with Dan Suzuki, just after you're done with this one.
And while we're at it, let's start with Assetto Corsa Competizione. Right away, there are 2 major differences in terms of price.
The first one being that ACC is a one-time payment. So if you buy it once, you will never have to do it again at any point in the future. Secondly, the game can be upgraded via DLCs, which include packs of cars or tracks. This way, you may spend money on multiple things, even though you only want one. The base game costs €40 on Steam, which adds up to around $46. This chops our budget in half, but our will is undeterred. The basic game includes 31 cars and 12 tracks. While this is comparable to iRacing, you get to have all these things forever, which is a plus in terms of value retention.
A lasting plus in terms of value for your life would be to leave a like, subscribe, and hit the bell. This way any further price check will not go unnoticed with you.
Next up, we add some DLC content to fill up our budget. We shop a few more cars and the GT4 DLC, and add some tracks with the Intercontinental and the British GT pack. Only the 2020 GT World Challenge pack would be missing.
All of that brings us exactly on our mark of $100. While we banked 19 tracks and 43 cars to drive. Still pretty harsh for $100, but lasting this time. But how does ACC's older brother compare?
The heart of the sim racing community is skipping a beat when the original Assetto Corsa is mentioned. A beloved game by many, but also because of its price efficiency? If you want to tell us, write a comment down below right now. The base concept of AC is as simple as that of ACC. You can buy the base game and some DLCs follow. Or you can buy the Ultimate Edition for $45 and get the game plus all the 11 DLCs included.
Yeah, I know, it seems kind of unreal, but wait until you hear the numbers. A total of 170... Wait, what?
Yeah, 177 cars and 20 tracks, which almost all sport more than one configuration, make the competition blush in comparison. And we are not even halfway through our budget. But what do we do with the rest? Oh, yeah, right. AC casually supports open source, which means there are tons of mods for the game. Plenty for free and some purchasable by money. The Porsche Cup car we talked about on iRacing earlier on, you remember that for $11.95? That is available for roughly $4.50 as a mod here. We are able to pick up 2 more circuits and 10 cars, plus the aforementioned Porsche, before we max out at $94.
In the end, we have 187 cars and 22 tracks, plus a million bytes of awesome modding downloads waiting to be explored, from cars to liveries to tracks. So you're basically getting infinite value for purchasing a game worth $45. The only downside to AC, due to it being an older game, is that there's not nearly as much online competition as there is in other sim racing titles, which means you have to show off your precious mods by yourself most of the time. A game with more going on is this one here.
RaceRoom is gaining popularity rapidly, not only because of the many licensed products, but because of the nature of the game. It is a free-to-play sim, which supports itself via additional purchases. The base game includes 6 tracks and 12 cars, which is already pretty neat considering you pay $0 for the whole thing. But if you thought Assetto Corsa was good with content, just wait. What makes RaceRoom special is their version of a season pass. For $100, you are able to purchase everything that is released up to this point for the game. This includes 183 cars and 50 tracks. You heard me correctly.
But there's an even more effective way to do it. If you buy the in-game currency of RaceRoom, you can get everything for $75 and save a good chunk of money. These numbers really speak for themselves and can leave you speechless. We thought Assetto Corsa was loaded with content, but RaceRoom even sports a very active online community, which means you can show off your purchases and take them for a spin with others.
From DTM throughout the years to today's GT3 cars, RaceRoom offers a vast array of content and absolutely bombs the competition with their pricing. 183 cars and 50 tracks can be yours for just $100 or $75 if you do our neat little trick.
Let's take a look at the competition of rFactor 2 by Studio 397. The pricing of this game is a combination of iRacing and Assetto Corsa. So let's check it out.
At first, rFactor 2 seems like a typical buy once and upgrade with DLCs later game. But that is only half the truth. For a total of $35 on Steam, you can acquire this gem and call it your own. With it comes 42 included cars and 19 tracks, which would rank rFactor 2 among the midfield of our content check at the moment. Instead of DLCs, rFactor 2 orientates itself more towards the iRacing business model, of having everything be bought individually, which can rip another hole in our imaginary wallet. A track costs around $9 to $11, and cars go from $3 to $6. Thankfully, there are packs available that allow us to save some bucks if we buy in bunches. We will go for the track expansion pack, that costs us around $28 for 4 additional circuits, and the endurance pack that comes at a price of $37 for 10 extra cars.
And voila! In the end, rFactor 2 gives you 23 tracks and 52 cars for the exact price of $100. While the idea of having individual purchases mixed with one-time payment is interesting, it is still noticeably more expensive. Our last game we look at today is Automobilista 2. With a very dedicated developer studio and a very vocal fan base, this game should rock in terms of pricing, right?
Let's start with the basics. It is once again a one-time payment game with the option to upgrade via DLC and a season pass. For the price of $39, you can get your hands on 35 included tracks, which have many different configurations to them, and 52 unique cars. The Season Pass, which gives you access to all the DLCs released until 2022, is a little bit out of our budget at $97. So we will have to settle for the Premium Expansion Pack for a spicy $60. With it you get access to nearly all DLCs, except a few tracks like the Nürburgring. But you do access a total of 5 additional cars and 3 new tracks.
In terms of content, AMS2 is a good catch. With all the many configurations for the tracks, it is actually hard to quantify how much content there is. But one thing is for sure, for $100 we got a whole bunch of cool stuff to play.
So let's settle down and process all the information we just collected. We had our little stack of dead presidents, which gave us $100 to spend on every sim. If we were to rank them now in terms of pure facts, so things we can buy and own, it would look as follows. iRacing offers the least pieces of content with a total of 17 tracks and 28 cars, followed by ACC with 43 cars and 19 tracks. rFactor slots onto the midfield with 52 cars and 23 circuits, and is joined by AMS2 with 57 cars and 38 racing venues. The top of the pack would be the original Assetto Corsa with 187 cars and 22 tracks, and who would have thought, RaceRoom with 183 cars and 50 bloody tracks.
But before you take this as a definitive answer, let me tell you that there's more to it. Of course, you can have a lot of cars and tracks, but some racers search for specific simulations. ACC may be on the bottom of the list in terms of content, but the things presented are very popular and liked. RaceRoom may sport the biggest roster of playable stuff online, but doesn't have the modding capabilities of Assetto Corsa, so the numbers there could be much higher. As a final conclusion, I think the original Assetto Corsa offers the best value out of any sim out there. The possibilities are endless, even with the lack of online competition compared to games like iRacing. $100 is still best invested in this game.
For more esports racing content in general, visit overtech.gg or our YouTube or other social channels. On the right, you can find our latest Assetto Corsa guide. That's it from me, and until next time, cheerio!